What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for TheLines.com. Let's talk some Monday Night Football between the Commanders and the Eagles. As we see over here, bit of a mismatch, at least from a spread perspective. We'll look and see sitting 10.5, 11 right now in favor of the Eagles at home against this Commanders team. The total 43.5 across the board. Significant as we talk about that a little bit later. I'll scroll down so you can take a look at some of the news and notes here of this game. First and foremost, from an injury standpoint, as we look really on the Eagles side, the one that stands out is Vontae Maddox is their nickel corner. He is going to be out tonight, starting nickel corner, one of the better ones in the league. So he's going to be out. On the Washington side of things, we're really going to be monitoring what's going on with Chase Young. Really outside of that, it's a whole bunch of stuff we already knew, as you can see right here from an injury standpoint for them. This game is, look, it's pretty simple, guys, right? I mean, we know for sure the Eagles are by far the superior team. They've already thumped Washington once, and we already have a pretty clear distinction as to where this Eagles team stands in the grand scheme of things, right? It's one of the two, if you want to count the Bills, three best teams in the NFL, and then kind of everybody else really at this point. Now, there are some teams that are certainly on the upswing, but teams that have been there, done that all season long. It's really just kind of the Eagles and the Chiefs and to a lesser extent, the Bills after this past week. But you look from an offensive perspective and, you know, look, that's the other thing kind of about this, right? It's just, you know, the mismatch from a perspective of, you know, what do these teams do well and what do these teams do poorly? And the thing is really the only thing that the Eagles don't do great is rush defense. Unfortunately, you know, the rush offense for Washington, 27th DVOA, 24th according to Pro Football Focus, adjusted line yards is 30th, rushing success rate 28th, yards per rush 25th, right? So you get it. They're in the bottom, you know, they're in the bottom six-ish, if not worse, in all of the major rushing statistics that there is. Now, if they try to throw the ball, that's where the Eagles, of course, with these stud corners that they have and the defensive line and the safeties and things like that. I mean, the pass defense DVOA is second. According to Pro Football Focus, they're fifth. So you can see their top five unit against the pass, no matter what, in quarter, you know, and then you go down to just, you know, even the other advanced stats, passing success rate, they're third overall in the league. Yards per pass, they're second overall in the league. So this Eagles defense has been great against the pass all season long. They're really, really good. And then on the offensive side of the ball, what are we looking at from an Eagles standpoint versus the Washington defense? Well, you know, one thing Washington has done at least pretty well this year is get pressure on the quarterback. And so the pressure rate for Washington is actually pretty good. They're third overall in the NFL as far as pressure rate, which again, that's good, right? I mean, like that is good no matter what. The only problem is that Jalen Hurts, his passer rating under pressure is still one of the better ones in the entire NFL by comparison, right? According to Pro Football Focus, it grades out, you know, these guys on every single play that they play. While clean, Hurts's passer rating his passer grade, I should say, is 119.6. While under pressure, it is 76.7. Now, we look over from Taylor Heineke, just as a comparative point here. His passer rating under pressure, 36.6. So again, 76.7 to 36.6 when it comes to passer grade under pressure. So there's just, you know, Hurts has actually been pretty good under pressure. And that's kind of really the only thing that Washington brings to the table at this point. Their run defense has been pretty good, but that's, you know, the one thing is Washington. I mean, Philadelphia just doesn't have to be one dimensional, right? Like they're good through the air. They're good on the ground. They're good through whatever. And so I think that Nick Sirianni is sharp enough to where it's kind of like, okay, path of least resistance is just to go through the air here against Washington. It's certainly not to run against a unit that, you know, again, according to Pro Football Focus, they're 13th overall run defense in the league. So they're in the upper half of the entire league. If you look at their rushing defense success rate, is actually fourth overall. So I think we see less Miles Sanders tonight. And if you want to play that from a prop standpoint, I don't have that as one of the ones we're going to talk about here. And I'll scroll so that you can continue to read along here. But if you want to play some unders on rushing props, maybe from an Eagles perspective, I don't think that that's the craziest thing in the world either with all this. But for me, for full transparency, I got this total before it completely bottomed out and did catch it at 44 as opposed to the 43.5. Now I don't have the best of the number. It opened at 45, but I did catch it at 44 before it got to 43.5. And I played the under. A couple of different reasons here. Look, these are division games, and I don't care if it is an 10.5, 11 point spread. You see a team once, you get to see them you get to see them the second time. There's a ton of historical data here that just does lead towards these coaches at least figuring something out about these other teams and being able to kind of slow some of the stuff every now and then. So that's one of the reasons. Two, we also have, and I think Eli points it out maybe in his little thing here, I'm not sure. So the Commanders play super slow. That's the other thing. So the Commanders play super slow as it is anyway. And then as we're talking about, if there is one way that you might be able to find success against this Philadelphia defense, it's to run against them because the pass defense is absolutely elite. And I think that also dropping Taylor Heineke back a million times isn't the best route to success, right? So, I think at least early they are going to try to run the ball. If you're running the ball and you're possessing the ball and hopefully get a couple first downs, you're also keeping this Eagles offense over on the sideline as well. So I think Ron Rivera kind of being that old school-ish guy, that's likely to be a pretty likely scenario for him, at least early on in this game. So another reason for me to lean towards the under as well with all this. So again, look, typically we don't see these unders fall in these primetime games. If anything, they go up because a lot of people just, again, general bettors want to just bet overs, So maybe you get back to 44. And if that's the case, then I would full on recommend playing it. And you're going to say, dude, it's a half a point. It is a massive difference in 44 though. Like 44 and 51 are those key-ish numbers that I actually care about, right? I mean, 24-20, we see all the time, right? I mean, 24-20 is certainly within the realm of possibility. 27-17. I mean, there's a lot of these different scores where 44 just comes into play, right? So, would hold out if you're going to play this under till the very end. I can't imagine it gets worse for you. And hopefully we get enough of people betting on this thing to get it up to 44 again, and you can take the under with that. As we get here, Brian Robinson, and this is the prop that I am looking at, and I'm going again. The assumption of rational coaching has bit me in the ass a couple of different times, but hey, I'm going to assume Ron Rivera looks and says, hey, this defense is elite against the pass. They're not that great against the run. There actually is a little bit of a leak there against the run. We're at least going to try to do this, right? Well, Brian Robinson has been the de facto one there now over Gibson. And if he gets half the carries, which he should, and if we can get 10 to 12 carries out of him, then I really do like over 33.5 yards. Again, Philadelphia, has had some guys had some rushing success against them this year. And I feel like that Washington will at least try that for the first half, maybe the first 3 quarters or something, until it's just out of, that there's just no way that they can do it anymore to try to win. So I do like this a lot on Brian Robinson over 33.5 rushing yards. Over here on the passing side of things, on the flip side, conversely, right? Nick Sirianni, super smart. We talked about it. Washington's run defense, actually pretty good. Pass defense, bad. Bottom 5 in the entire NFL. A.J. Brown's been an absolute stud all year long, and they're going to give us plus money. And this one, look, is it likely to happen that he gets 6 catches? It's a little less likely to happen than maybe even the yardage here, just because A.J. Brown's such a big play guy, right? But I just love the plus money here on 5.5 catches. If you wanted to play the yardage, hey, that's fine. I get your choice on that. But I mean, so rarely am I getting plus money in one of these props that I actually think is pretty good. So I'll take the over 5.5 here. at the plus 126 that we're getting right here. So, look, if this thing gets beaten down over the course of the day, and by the time you watch this, we're not getting nice plus money on the 5.5, then don't go that direction. But as we're recording this, getting nice plus money on getting AJ Brown 6 receptions here again against a Washington team that path of least resistance, throwing against them and moving the ball down the field through the air. So like that one as well. I made kind of a crazy same game parlay that I don't think is even the weirdest thing in the world. So if we want to go this route, it's 5 of them and it pays 40 to 1. So it's the Eagles. They got to win by a touchdown as opposed to the 10.5, 11 that we're sitting at right now. Under 47.5, 47 is a key-ish number as well when it comes to totals. I don't have to, 27-20, obviously I'm giving you, as we're talking about these things, 24-23, all that stuff. So we're staying under 47.5. I like Robinson rush yards, right? Because at least they're going to try that early. So I have him over 30 rush yards. I'm taking the alt receptions and say that AJ Brown just has a really, really good receiving day, and he has 7 or more receptions in this game. And then at one point, Taylor Heineke's forced to just kind of YOLO this game, right? Because they're down and they have to drop back and throw every single time. Hopefully that happens about, late third quarter, then all the way through the fourth quarter. And I put him in at 2+ interceptions in this game. That ends up paying 40 to 1. And by the way, Taylor Heineke does lead the NFL in turnover-worthy plays out of every quarterback that's played so far this season, turnover-worthy play percentage. So he is reckless with the ball and puts the ball in danger a ton. So the 2+ interceptions isn't the craziest thing in the whole world either. So again, just more of a fun, hey, lottery ticket type same game parlay this week. You could remove any one of these that you don't love. I mean, if you don't think he throws, 2 interceptions, so we can pop that out of there. It still pays 12 to 1 if all of these things happen, and that's just four different things. So again, just how it depends on how much you want to try to turn into the thing, or you put a couple of different ones in, right? You could put the one that pays 40, you could put the one that pays 12 in there as well. But again, no real thought on the total. If this thing gets, if for whatever reason Washington scores early and maybe there's a little bit of a lull for Philadelphia, maybe it's an in-game opportunity to get on Philadelphia if there's any way you can get it at under a touchdown or something. And certainly what we'd be looking for is an in-game under as well. I really do think that this game ends up playing kind of gross towards the end for the majority of the game. And so if there's a quick score, see if that thing does pop up over 44. Maybe you get lucky and it's over 45 or 46 or whatever it might be. If that's the case, we're certainly going to be looking at in-game under as well on that. Guys, everything we do, absolutely for you. So please hit that subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up and then let us know in the comment section how you are going to play this game. Here's the Discord that you can find on the lines and talking about everything over there all day long, absolutely free as well. And then, hey, you're getting free contests, free swag, all the different things like that. We're doing that every week as well. All you got to do is be a subscriber to this channel and then go join the Discord as well. Good luck on all your bets here on Monday Night Football.